So today I'm going to talk about noodling, which very often seems so frightening, especially to those of us who began playing using notation. If it's on the page, you're supposed to play it. If it's not on the page, you don't play it. Noodling is another word for improvisation or improvising. But it's got to sound like music, otherwise it's just a jumble. So we need to use the organization of sounds and silences in our improvisations so that our improvisations sound musical and pleasing to the ear. One way that I start students improvising on their own is I talk about the chord palette. This works in every key, but we're going to be playing in the key of C. So in the key of C, there are 3 major chords. And in every major scale, those major chords are built on the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th degrees of the scale. In C, it would be the C chord. And when I say chord right now, I'm talking about the triad, the 3-note chord that we can build on the C being the root, the 3rd is the E, and the 5th is the G. Notice that I don't put the 3rd in the bottom in the left hand. That becomes too thick sounding if I put it in the bottom. I open the bottom so that my left hand is playing 4th finger on C, 2nd finger on G, thumb on this middle C. Then my right hand is playing an inversion, turned around C chord with E, G, C. So if I do an F chord, it'll be F, C, F, A, C, F. A G chord will be G, D, G, B, D, G. So in the everything book that is the textbook for everything we teach at Bedside Harp, there's a lot of emphasis on really learning these chords, not just the 1, 4, and 5, but the other chords as well. The 2, which is a D minor chord, an E minor chord, the 3, and the 6, A minor. So why we talk about chords and such is that they're going to be key to your making beautiful music of your own. And one way that I teach beginning people learning to noodle is something called a question answer, where I ask a question in my right hand on C, E, or G. That's my question, and I answer with an arpeggio on the 1 chord. Ask the same question on C, E, or G. I'm going to do it on E this time, the same that I did last time, and answering with an F arpeggio. Ask the same question, I'm still playing that E. And so my question is either C, E, or G, and I'm answering with the different chords. The 1, in this case, it was the 1 chord, the C chord, the F chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, and back to the 1 chord. And we know from written music that the first chord that appears in most tunes, most of the music that we play, is the one chord. And the last chord we hear is also the one chord. That's called the tonic, or the tonal center of the music. The 5 chord is the next most important chord. It's the dominant, and the dominant's main function is to lead to the 1 chord. The 4 chord is the next most important chord, the subdominant, found 5 notes below the tonic. This is on F in the key of C. And that can be an amen ending. We could play. So just using those 3 chords, I'm going to just ask the question on C, E, or G. There is the C. I'm going to answer with the 1 chord, the C. I'm going to answer now with the F chord. Same question, answer with the G chord, and end on the 1. So that sounds pretty nice. I can, again, move through C, E, or G, any of them, repeat them, or just move around. This time I'll move around. Question. And notice it comes home to the 1 chord in the melody as well. So I can do that over and over again. It gets to be a little repetitive if I continue to use that chord progression meaning going from 1 chord to the other. It becomes a little more interesting to the ear when I involve some of the minor chords. So the most well-known chord progression is the 1, the C in the key of C, A minor, F, 4, 5, and again I can just have a one note question. Or I can add 3 notes to my question, playing either CDE, or EDC, or EFG, or GFE, and intersperse my single notes with my 3-note questions. Let's see how that goes, using that chord progression, the 1, 6, 4, 5. And I made my own music. You can do this too.